Hey everyone, it's Paul Bertorelli reporting from AirVenture 2018 in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. If you've been here on the field, you will recognize that building behind me as the EAA Pilot Proficiency Center. Two ways to look at this. One, you go inside there to hone your skills as a steely-eyed aviator, or, in my case, you go inside and embarrass yourself by crashing a series of simulated 172s. So here's how the whole thing works. You register, go in and talk to the staff, and you tell them what you want to work on. Crosswind landings, instrument approaches, situational awareness, whatever. Then they have a little algorithm that spits out a series of scenarios. They put that on a little digital key. You plug it into the simulator, and an instructor helps you fly through those scenarios. An hour later, you emerged as a highly skilled pilot, or maybe not. I think I would want to work on instruments, so which should I pick?
You can pick landings and approaches, or surprise me, and then you discuss it with your instructor when you get back. If you don't like the recommendations that the computer recommends for you.
All right.
Very simple process.
So the pilot will come in, he'll sit in the back in prep about 15 minutes before, and he'll have a chance, or she'll have a chance to observe the previous session. Once the session ends, the instructor will take up and the new pilot in training will get seated, and their key will go into the sim. And that key registers the scenarios that were prescribed through the algorithm that was answered by the pilot in training on the way in. So there are 3 or 4 prescribed scenarios, and then the instructor will, and the pilot in training will choose the first one to fly, discuss it, discuss the scenario, discuss the environment. If it's an IFAR scenario, I'll launch the system, make sure all the frequencies are all set, that the maps and charts are set, and then the pilot in training will fly the scenario. Once that's done, if it requires ATC, if it requires any air traffic control, the pilot in training and the instructor will both have communication with Pilot Edge. All right, and Pilot Edge is a live air traffic control system that we'll be able to use and communicate with just as the pilot was in the system. And at the end, we have Cloud Ahoy information that's uploaded to the Cloud Ahoy servers, and in about 1 to 2 minutes after that, the pilot in training and the instructor pilot can review the flight over the Pilot Edge. It's an introduction to it, and it provides a pilot in training the ability to see what the Pilot Edge debriefing tool can do. Yep.
For some reason, although I wanted to fly instrument approaches, the algorithm thought crashing into trees would be more fun, so that's what it had me do. This scenario is actually supposed to condition a pilot to react to an engine failure at various altitudes, the first being 500 feet. Didn't work out so well.
A little slow, I'm going to miss that tree. I'm going to hold the flaps. No, I'm not. I'm going to go with flaps, full flaps. And I'm going to hit it in that tree.
So 500 feet, there's not a lot of time. Right. You want to try one more to 1,000? Yeah. All right. There you go.
There's a certain level of frustration in using these simulators because, frankly, they just don't mimic the airplane well enough to feel the nuances. So it's easy to get into the classic pilot-induced oscillation where your mental bandwidth is devoted to overcoming the sim's idiosyncrasies, not analyzing and flying the problem. It improves with practice, but it takes a while.
You'll make this one.
Miss that building.
Yep. Up.
No, not hit the building.
Set the bit. So there's a lot to be learned here.
Yeah, there is. And as we discussed, it's getting the feel of that sim and the dynamics. Once you've mastered that, then you can start thinking about it. And actually, when you think about it, the outcome sort of doesn't matter.
Right. Correct. We find with the instruments, I do a lot of instrument training in this sim, and once that transition from the yoke to the management of the aircraft comes far more quickly at that point, because you're just managing headings and you're managing altitudes and you're managing airspeeds. So that works there, and then the same thing happens again. The student, my students or the pilot in training here will come out and they'll break out of the weather and they'll see the runway, and then you can see that kind of fishtailing. So depending upon what the scenario is where the necessity to get used to the sim is.
Every year at AirVenture, EAA and Redbird have been refining the Proficiency Center programs, and you'll be able to try your hand at it at AirVenture 2019 in July. For AVweb, I'm Paul Bertorelli. Thanks for watching.